Hi and welcome to the Adelaide Horror Podcast. This is your host Zombie Joe. Today it's episode 5 and under the banner of Aquatic Horror I'm going to be talking about Deep Rising 1998. So this was a movie written and directed by Stephen Sommers. He also was behind movies like The Mummy Returns, Odd Thomas with the late Anton Yelchin, and Van Helsing in 2004 with Hugh Jackman. So that's pretty good. This movie, Deep Rising, it's a complicated kind of... it's a good movie, but it's not an awesome movie. So it kind of sits... some people go, yeah, I've seen it, I hated it, or yeah, I've seen it, I thought it was alright. You know, I haven't met anyone that rambles about this movie in a massively positive light, but you know, it is what it is. It's definitely a movie that you got with a collection of horror films that you like. You've watched it probably 6 to 7 to 10 times. You like it, you know what it's about, you know what it tries to do, and you don't hate it for it. So that's how I best describe Deep Rising for me. That's the relationship that I have with it. However, there's some people that can't stand it, so you know, it is what it is. So yeah, that's why it is. So I'll get stuck into the nitty gritty of the movie. So it was made by a budget of $45 million, and that's including the CG. The CG in the 90s, not so good. I think one of the worst CG things of this movie was actually the explosion at one stage. That was a bit rubbish, but like I said, not enough for me to rage quit the film or to hate it for this reason. I accepted the fact that the CG is what it is. It's a 90s movie. It didn't age well. So, you know, if we can all get over that, then, and you accept Deep Rising for what it is, you're going to like the movie, like what it's trying to do. The best way I could describe this movie is that it is literally an aquatic version of The Mummy on the ocean. That's that kind of fast-paced. If you hated The Mummy, yeah, pack it up, kids, and I'll see you next episode. Like, if you didn't mind The Mummy and you knew what The Mummy was trying to do, then yeah, put Deep Rising and The Mummy in the same basket. Like, you know, it's like the semi-ugly kid. You know, you love them all the same. And so the budget for this movie, $45 million, and it's a bit awkwado because it grossed $4 million in the US and $11 million globally. In Australia, what I believe it went straight to VHS, if not DVD. I'm just still trying to rack my mind I'm pretty sure it was DVD. I saw it at a video shop. That's how I saw it. The poster jumped out of me from the wall because I was like, whoa. That's the other good thing about this movie is the cover art for this movie. You had one version, it was like just the eyeball of the creature and looking aggressive, like the one eyeball looking aggressive at you with the Deep Rising kind of logo underneath. The one that we all know is the rippling water, and just underneath in a transparent kind of in the shape of the ripples of the ocean, it's a lady's face screaming. So I thought that was artistically well done. Like, I thought that was clever. There was another one, and it kind of looked a bit graphic novel-ish, and it was kind of a nod to Cthulhu. It was dark, and it was like dark blue and green, that Cthulhu green, kind of the H.P. Lovecraft limeish fluorescent green, not the same lime green that we get in The Reanimator, like another H.P. Lovecraft story. Yeah, this isn't that, like, but it's kind of similar anyway. It's kind of a nod to Cthulhu anyway. It's definitely a nod to Cthulhu, the title work. So I thought that one was pretty good. So it's got some different kind of cover art, but yeah. So that giant poster kind of jumped out at me when I went to the video shop, and I was like, wow, you know what? You know, what's this? So that was pretty cool. The runtime's an hour and 40. IMDb, yeah, look, they gave it a 6.1. For me, I'd say 7. And that's about it. Yeah, 7. 7's all right. Well, it's not good. It's not bad and it's not good. You know, it's kind of in the middle. 6, I thought was a bit of, it's too low for me. But like I said, that's personally my view. That's just me personally. It was released in the States in January, so that's like right in the middle of the winter, and right in the middle of our summer. So we got it straight to video. However, if you're watching this and you're from Australia and you did see it at the cinema, write and let me know, because I was trying to track it to see if it was released in the cinema, and I couldn't remember seeing it being advertised at all in the cinema. I just remember seeing it on the video. So unless it was cinema release and I just happened to watch it at the video and I missed it at the cinema, it didn't mean it didn't come out at the cinema. So I don't know. Yeah, feel free to write in the comments. Yes. In Australia, we got it on the 7th of March. Yeah, March. Yeah. No, sorry, May. 7th of May in 98. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's got a... Look, the cast is... like, it's got a good cast behind it. Some cast you'll recognise. Some cast kind of went on to do TV appearances. But they've all been in movies, like major kind of films. So, you'd probably recognise the names as I go through them. Yeah, so, cool. I'll go through them. John Finnegan, he's a US actor. You'd know him from The Phantom in 96. Kevin J. O'Connell, he was in The Mummy in 99. He plays a guy called Joey in this movie. We've got Una Damon. She's a South Korean actress. She's Layla in this movie, and you'd know her from The Truman Show. Then we've got the bad guys. So we've got Wes Studi, who's Hanover. He's a Native American actor, and you know him from The Last of the Mohicans and a few other Native Indian movies as well. He's really good, brilliant actor. Jason Fleming, he's a British actor. He's Mulligan. You'd know him from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Cliff Curtis, he's a New Zealand Maori actor, and Mamuli, and that's his character name, and you'd know him from the movie Once Were Warriors, so that was another really good film. Clifton Powell, he was Mason. He's an American actor. You'd know him from Rush Hour. And then Trevor Goddard, his character's called T-Ray. He's an English actor. You'd know him as Kano from Mortal Kombat. Now, not an Australian actor. I actually almost did the Orkies of putting him down as an Australian actor. He's actually an English actor who he specialises in an Australian accent. And he certainly does, because I actually thought he was Australian. He pulled it off really well. So yeah, Kano from Mortal Kombat, you'd know him from that. Damon Hususu, he's Vivo. He's an African actor, brilliant African actor. You'd know him from Guardians of the Galaxy. You'd know him from Blood Diamond, and he was also in the movie Amistad, which was I think his first movie. And that's based on a historical event. Yeah, so definitely check out those movies for sure with him in it. Clint Curtis, he's Billy, and you'd know him from Blade. So yeah. We've got Derek O'Connor, who plays the ship's captain. He plays Captain Hawthorne. You'd know him from Daredevil. He's the late Irish actor. And then we've got Femke Jensen, who's Dutch, and she plays Trillian St. James. And you'd know her from House on Haunted Hill and also GoldenEye, James Bond movie. Anthony Heald, he's an American actor. He plays Simon Canton. He's the creator of the Ocean Liner in this, very arrogant rich guy. I think he always plays a dickhead. Like, I've never seen him play a nice guy. And he's always got those circular 90s glasses on. Yeah. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life, but jeez, he always plays the knob. Yeah, far out. Anyway, Silence of the Lambs. He was in he was in Silence of the Lambs. Well, it was probably a dick in that too. Anyway, so basically the run of the movie for Deep Rising was, so the start of the movie, there's a bit of a spiel, and it talks about ships going missing in the South China Sea, because the South China Sea's got these really deep kind of oceanic trenches in it, that's unexplored, blah blah blah. The ships go missing, you know, without a trace, so they're kind of going, oh, sea creature. And that's kind of to give you the feel of that at the start of the movie. And then we open up on the John and his kind of, it's not a U-boat, but it's a boat for hire, but it's armed. Like it used to belong, you could tell on, dare I say it, Vietnam era kind of army boat, like a US Army boat, like they used in Vietnam. But this has been modified a bit. It's got an enclosed cabin, so that's why I was kind of reluctant to say it was a Vietnam kind of used military. It's not a U-boat, but it's similar to that. It's armed. It's got some armaments on it, so it's ready to get down. And anyway, so him and the mercenaries. He's traveling. He's transporting mercenaries in the ship, and he's got his two crew with him. So Kevin O'Donnell and Uma Damon. So John, Joey, and Layla. So we get to know them by their kind of ping pong conversation that they have at the start of the movie, and the fact that they're, you know, transporting these mercenaries in their ship, and that they don't know where they're going. They only know there's a location. They've been paid quite a lot of money to go to the set location, and that's it. Like, no questions asked. I think their motto is, if the cash is there, we don't care. So that's pretty much what they're about, and that's what's going on. So the head of the mercenaries, Wes Studi, basically confirms this by going, you know, this is where you're going, shut your mouth, and I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Kevin O'Connell character Joey, he's a bit creeped out by all these guys and starts snooping around the ship, which he shouldn't have done, and he discovers some of the cargo that they've got on board, so he doesn't like that and ends in an altercation, and there's a pretty intense standoff. So the relationship on this ship between the mercenaries and the crew isn't a great one, so that's its own kind of story happening there. And then on the other side, you snap over and to the luxury liner itself, and we get a really decent camera shot, considering this was the late 90s and they weren't doing drone camera shots. So the CG on this one was done well. So it was a out in the ocean zoom in shot into the ship. There's a gentleman finishing a cigarette on the deck, and he walks back into the ship, and you follow him into the ship. And that camera work was really good. Like, that's what I noticed, and I thought, wow, this is pre-drone. So if they shot this movie again, there'd be drone shots like you got nobody's business. And so I thought the camera work was done really well. So you zoom in, you see a big party going on, all these rich people, loaded people, they're all dancing, you know, gambling. And Simon Canton stands up, does a speech, kind of pretty much gives everyone a verbal resty by talking about how rich everyone is and they made his dreams come true, blah blah blah. And and we see Trillian St. James, who's Femke Jansen. She's walking around in a nice cocktail dress, kind of, you know, eyeing people off, and then sees a ship crew member and bumps into them and takes the wallet and gets the access card that she's after. So you're kind of sussing, okay, she's on this ship to hit something bigger on this ship, you know. And that's that. So yeah, we got the ocean liner in the South China Sea, and we've got the mercenaries in the South China Sea. And so yeah, do 2 and 2 together on that one. While this is all going on, Femke gets busted for trying to get into this access staff area, and the only brig that they had was a cool room, so not the freezer. So they don't want to kill her, but like, you know, it's uncomfortable. But at least, you know, that keeps her locked up, kind of thing. In a way that works out in her favor, because as this is going on, the ship is then hijacked by a unknown entity. Apparently, you could stop a whole entire luxury liner by removing 4 or 5 CD-ROMs. Yeah, didn't age well. So yeah, took out 5 CDs, and that was it. Ship is closed off. It's dead in the water. They're not moving. The radar's gone. Everything's gone. Radio, the works. Right as this happens, the sea creature shoots up from beneath them and hits the ship. Now, what I'm trying to understand is that the creature had obviously been tracking them and hit the ship at that point because it stopped, or it just happened to be at the bottom of the ocean, looked up and went, cool, KFC. Because the ship had stopped, and it obviously thought maybe it was a giant whale. I'm going to schneck on that. I don't know. Anyway, it just bang hits the ship and just starts tearing into it. We don't physically see the creature at all. We just see everyone losing their shit and running everywhere because this ship's getting thrown side to side. And you kind of see human behaviour at this point. Everyone's stomping on each other. Like, so if you're not going to get manged by a creature, you're going to die because the dumbass next to you has tripped you over, and then 50 people are going to step on your face. So, you know, that's, you know, that's what you're going to die of, really. Yeah, so there's stampedes and everyone going bunter and running back and forth, and then one lady pushes past another gentleman and locks herself in the toilet, thinking that she's okay, and she's not okay. I'm going to leave that there. She cops it pretty hard and pretty bad. So yeah, life lesson, people: don't be a dick and lock people out of a toilet. Doesn't mean you are safe. And yeah, so then we get the screen snaps back to the mercenaries, and that's that. In the meantime, not a lifeboat, but a speed boat that was attached to the ship comes loose and falls into the water, and so floats off, and the ship with the mercenaries on it hits the speedboat, damaging the boat. This is where I'm going to pause it. It's not a spoiler, but in real life, this would be the end of the ship. Like, this would be, dude, what they're carrying on the ship and them hitting the ship, I'm like, nah. That would be the end of the movie. Like, that would be the end of everyone on that ship. Like, the end. So, unpause. Yeah, I think this is the reason why people jump up and down about this movie. It irritates them because it's a bit unrealistic or whatever. Hello, folks. It's a fucking horror movie. Like, it's not going to be realistic. So, you got to kind of let that one go. You let it through the keeper, that one. Anyway, it damages their ship, so then they've got no choice, and the crew with the mercenaries gets sucked into the mercenaries' plan as well, and lo and behold, they board the now cruise liner that had been attacked. So some time lapse have passed in between this, and so they board the ship, looking for money, treasure, set item, we don't know. And whether it is the same item that Femke Jensen was looking for as well, while she nicked the swipe card and then got busted trying to get in. So, yeah. Anyway, the Mercies are on the ship, and they like, where are the people? What's going on? The cruise liner is dead quiet. It is, and it's creepy. Like, it is really creepy. There's no blood anywhere. The lights are still on. It is freaking clean. Like, it's like everyone has just run to one end of the ship, and it's like a giant surprise birthday party. Like, it is dead quiet, and the mercenaries are rightly getting freaked out by it, going, this is too quiet, what is going on? And they enter the main hall, and they're ready to, the guns are out, and there's no one. And they're like, oh, what the hell is going on? So they're rightly freaked out. This is kind of where I'm going to leave the movie. I'm not going to go on about it, because you do start going into spoiler territory, and that's not what I'm about. It just pretty much, like anything, it's a battle to stay alive, and you know, people get picked off and people survive, and I'm not going to say who does and who doesn't, and I'll leave it at that. So it's a good time killer, this movie. If you want something to watch and have your mates around playing in the background, you're not going to take it too seriously, have a few beers, watch a horror movie with a bunch of other horror movies, this is the one to watch it with. Deep Rising, 1998. Check it out. You can, and you don't have to pay for it. YouTube, type in Deep Rising full movie. It's on YouTube. You don't have to pay for it. You just play it, and that's it. Like, and you know. So if you hate this movie by the end of it, you're not going to be buttsore about it, because it cost you nothing. So, anyway, cool. So yeah, so that's that. That's my little aquatic gem that I like going to. It's not perfect, but I like it still. It is what it is. It's all good. It's kind of the reason why I went off and reviewed The Relic. It kind of reminded me of that, and it came out roughly the same time. So that was kind of that one I thought was really, really good. Too, so I'll be reviewing The Relic at some stage as well in later episodes, so check out and listen out for that. So in another little segment that I call now is News from the Crypt, and basically a couple of things. I've been some recommendations. So if you guys haven't already checked out a horror movie review TV show on YouTube, definitely check out Myron on Happy Wax TV. He's a Canadian guy. He does these really good reviews about all these different horror movies that come out. His display at the back is awesome. I love the setup for this guy. So yeah, it's a really good show. It does really good reviews, deep dives. If the movie's crap, he'll let you know about it. Like, it's really good. Me and him both agree that we liked Haunt. That's a recent movie. Definitely check that out. Haunt. Man, what a movie. What a Halloween movie. Oh my god, it was so good. I went out the next morning to the local shopping centre mall for American viewers, and went out and bought a copy of it. I haven't loved a movie that much for me to want to buy it immediately afterwards. I looked it up and made sure that it was available, and I purchased it, and it's now on my horror collection. So that's rare, man, for me to do that. That's how good Haunt is. So yeah, definitely check out Haunt. You can get it on, I got it on Microsoft Store, because I watch a lot of my movies I buy and download via my Xbox. So I go through the Microsoft Store and rent movies that way. I'm on Amazon Prime, so there's a lot of horror movies on Amazon Prime. So check it out. So that's good. So yeah, definitely check out Happy Wax TV. Great show, and yeah, you'll really like it. Follow the Facebook group as well. There's always view watch groups happening, so you'll probably chuck up a movie that you'd want to watch. So yeah, really good show. So yeah, I've been checking out also a podcast by Fangoria, and that's Casualty Fridays with Kane Hodder and Felissa Rose, and yeah, really good show. Also available, I think, on Stitcher, but I've been listening to it on Spotify, and available on YouTube as well, if you want to watch it rather than listen to it. So yeah, definitely check them out. They've been really good. Yeah, I've seen the trailer for Halloween Kills, and oh man, this is so good. Man, it is really, holy smokes! Like it's such a short trailer, but it just grabs you by the throat, man. Like you just, oh man, Jamie Lee Curtis it's so good to see her back, and just her reaction when she sees these vehicles and the way she freaks out, like, is just, oh man, it's so raw. Like it's really good, and I'm just like, man, I just cannot wait to see this movie, and I really hope that this is the only trailer that we get for this movie. I do not want anything being spoiled about Halloween Kills. So yeah, definitely very excited about that. So hopefully it does come out in Halloween here in Australia. I don't know the sitch about that with us. Here in Adelaide, touch wood, our COVID is sorted. Like we've managed to close all our borders off, and we're doing really well. Unfortunately, Victoria is very struggling badly as well. So, so yeah, you guys are in our thoughts too about that, and you know, hopefully they can get on top of it, and Sydney as well, and also Queensland. So it's starting to spread up the east coast a bit in Australia, but Hobart, Tasmania, Adelaide, where I am, Western Australia and Northern Territory, we pretty much have managed to get on top of it early, social distance, get on the face masks, got it on early, and then pretty much closed our borders off, and we've managed to prevent it. So a spread from occurring. So we're lucky in that sense, but still think about other people across the border, and we also still think about the people in the world. You know, US, Canada, England, all over the world, globally, everyone that's affected by this as well. So, you know, I just want to say, you guys, good luck, stay healthy, stay mentally healthy, and yeah, definitely get support if you need it. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. Next episode, episode 6, is going to be Galactic Horror, and I'm going to be reviewing Event Horizon. So that was a pretty decent film back in the day, back in 1997, and yeah. So until then, stay scary, and bye for now.